didn't know. I didn't know what I was looking at, and right now, up till now, there's no way of predetermining if a child is going to have concerns developmentally or with movement from birth. So that's what I'm just about to introduce. I'm about like a month away from publishing, so you'll have all the handouts. Just give me a couple of weeks on that. I'm just about there, but I've developed a way of assessing a child for movement right at birth. So this is going to complement hopefully the APGAR scoring, which is to know where the child is medically, but also to know where the child is with movement and their ability to move. So if a parent chooses to, or doctors, they can get aggressive more quickly. But that being said, it's really going to give you guys tools to work with your child or work with the children that you work with so much quicker and be able to help you transition that parent over into bringing that child home. It didn't matter what the diagnosis was. What I really realized that all kids with any kind of special needs have issues with rotation. They cannot rotate. They're either, we have all these fun little words, spastics, this, that, and the other, but again, for a new mom, if you say, oh, this baby's probably going to have cerebral palsy, you know, that's going from here to here. It was just, it's too much of a vocabulary. You start going into inflection and supine, or if they're not sitting up by a certain time. So looking back at the way a child should be born is with a vaginal delivery, full-term vaginal delivery. What I realized that in the womb, a baby is meant to expand in all directions. The gravitational force on that baby is just different because they're not breathing and they don't have a digestive system. They're not, you know, eating or eliminating. So with that, the baby, the brain, everything is allowed to expand in all directions. When you have a premature child, cesarean section, even a natural delivery, there can be complications to that full term going into labor and that rotation coming out. That's where we're all the same. Babies, doesn't matter what country you're on, should be born, and I believe that rotation stimulates not only the rotation in their bodies, but it tells a baby to now start learning from its environment. So when that rotation has been traumatized, the brain is confused. Am I still working on developing a body, or am I supposed to be responding to my environment? And we say, oh, they're premature, and we'll wait, and this, and there's been complications, but again, that's an inactivity to their system. They're not able to start, in a sense, waking up to their environment that they're supposed to be a part of. So it didn't matter if it was later on to me, if it was autism, ADD, CP, you know, I can go on and on and on. Every single diagnosis is issues with rotation. And what I realized, and I also realized the way I touch was always naturally with a rotation. So what I'm going to be showing you today is not only how to evaluate a baby, to just see how that they're able to respond those kind of little simple movements, but how you can start interacting not only with that infant right when you're taking out that IV or going in and checking on them, that you can see how their system is responding so much sooner. But also, you guys are busy, and this is a great opportunity if you are taking out an IV to suddenly say, you know, Mom, you know, you're sitting here. If you can just take this little risk that, you know, I was working with, and just show them that very simple touch. You're now bringing the parent into to bonding with their child and being able to be active in their care, and working on that transition, making it so much more powerful for them. Instead of just sitting here, you know, watching their child and you know, they want to do something. Take a child to soccer, you take them to things, you take them to their doctors. There's no reason why you can't bathe them and do a little, I call baby movement lesson, and that's what I'm doing. Because the one thing that's brilliant about an infant, they're still just a system. Their whole way that they learn is by their ability to respond to stimuli. And if they can't respond, either due to neurological impairment or just physical impairment, the IVs, the pulse ox, you know, it goes on and on and on. If they've got to be ventilated, their system at some point is going to say, I just can't do it, or they will find a different way to do it. And that's more so what CP is that they're finding a different way to do something. It might not be that efficient, but that's the way they're going to do it. So see how if I just touched you, that's just touch. But you see how when I touch you and start to rotate, how I'm actually talking to your hips at the same time? Can anybody see how that she just actually starts to move a little bit?
It's very subtle.
But if I touched her hard, it would be like yelling. Nobody learns when they get yelled at. Right there, yeah, that's jammed. Now she needs a lesson, sorry. You see how long it took her to give herself to me? Did you see like she's cognitively fine. Can you imagine a baby? Now I'm going to do something else too. Can you imagine too, if I just grab you like this?
Yeah.
Do you see how your muscles contract?
Yeah.
Right? Again, it's just a natural response, and this really is something to take care of with the baby. But just doing this lightly and just rotating you give yourself to me.
Okay.
So, and that's why we just naturally do scoop up a baby. But again, they're in positions where they've got so many IVs, you know, even just a pre-surgery for adults to sit there and just go like this and take a pulse. See how I take your back away? But if I just go underneath and do the same thing, how much more, the system just doesn't fight you. And I'll do that, you'll feel that sensation in each one of you. You notice most kids with CP, they don't have that, and the elbows and the shoulders are off here. But just from that beginning when the baby just starts to do that kind of movement. Oh, let me show you this way too. So if I grab you, see your muscles? And again, I didn't hurt her, you didn't fall down, but if I just do it the rotation, feel the difference? You know, it makes a big difference when, I'm not saying
Looks terrified.
oh, what are you talking about? But she just saw me do it, I'm doing it to her. You know, it makes a difference between grabbing, you know, a child, more so I think of like more of a doctors or therapies where they're like, just put them on the table and these kids, of course they're going to be, you know, it's and you can see how easy you can do this, you know, taking an IV out or, and again, this is touch or even massage. See how I don't move your body and just this, the difference, how you feel the difference? And again, if I grabbed you, you know, versus here, like rotation, and I can just take you. For some reason, whatever it is, it's just the way our systems works. When you touch with rotation, that you automatically go into that movement versus that startle or does your lower back give you problems? No? Right through here? No, I know this. You see, it's hard for me to bring your arm up over your shoulder. You see how much work that is? See the difference? So now see the difference, how the arm is starting to come up different? Just a little bit. And again, this is touch. See how I'm not working with your body? It still might feel good, but you see how it's not moving like this is? Okay? And the same thing, everybody's now getting really intense for me because they're getting ready for me to... See when I grab you?
Just happens.
Yeah,
She's waiting. But I was thinking
if I do this,
Yes.
no, I'm telling you, you just can't. It's just,